They said it couldn't happen, they said it wouldn't last, but here we are again with episode 3 of Make Use Of's Video Game Hub. I am Dave LeClaire, gaming editor for MakeUseOf.com, and I am here to take you on this wondrous adventure where we're going to count down the top 5 stories from the world of video games from the last week. So don't worry if you haven't been paying attention to the news, because we most certainly have, and we're going to bring it to you. Alright, enough pleasantries, enough explanations, enough introductions. Let's get it going with our 5th story of the week. This week, Microsoft is going to pay you money. Think about it. Take that in for a second. Alright, it's not as good as it sounds. Microsoft is actually offering to give money in exchange for your old video game console, specifically your PlayStation 3 or your Xbox 360. So if you take it to a Microsoft retail store, they give you $100, you go home with an Xbox One for $400, and one old video game console. It's not a bad deal, it's not a great deal. You could probably sell your PS3 or your Xbox 360 for more if you sell it on eBay or Craigslist or anywhere like that. But it is convenient, and originally when Microsoft launched this, the images that were posted on NeoGAF were a little bit more digging at Sony. It said, ditch your PS3 and trade it in towards an Xbox One. Now their website just kind of says, hey, we'll give you $100 for select video game consoles. So that image may have been just kind of something they put out there and then realized, that's a little mean, and pulled it. But either way, you can bring your old console in and get a little bit of money, and nothing wrong with that. Alright, let's keep things moving with our 4th story of the week, and this is one that should make Sony console owners extremely happy. I know I look forward to it every month. Sony has announced the free games for PlayStation Plus for the month of February, which, in case you weren't sure, is only a day away. We have, for PlayStation 4 owners, Outlast, which is a fantastic survival horror game, which we actually reviewed at MakeUseOf.com. It's a game where there's no combat, it's strictly you running from the bad guys, and it just has an incredible amount of tension that you won't find in too many other games. Moving over to the PlayStation 3, we have Metro Last Light, a really good first-person shooter. We also have Remember Me, which is kind of a strange game. It's not necessarily what you would call a great game, but it's okay. And then we have Payday 2, which is a first-person shooter that's all about heists. So it's kind of like what everybody wanted Grand Theft Auto 5 to be, and what it wasn't. So you're basically performing heists with friends, so it's really cool. Over on the Vita, we have Mod Nation Racers and Street Fighter Cross Tekken, or Street Fighter X Tekken, or Street Fighter vs. Tekken. No, whatever you want to call it, that's a fighting game, and Mod Nation Racers is kind of a Little Big Planet-esque kart racer. So get some awesome free games. Yet again, Sony manages to outdo themselves with that $50 a year subscription to PlayStation Plus, and if you own a PlayStation 4, PlayStation 3, or PlayStation Vita, you'll get yourself some awesome free games. Moving along to our 3rd story of the week. The internet has been buzzing with all things PlayStation Now recently, which is Sony's streaming game service that will allow it to bring PlayStation 3 games to all different platforms, including the PlayStation 4. But as it turns out, it looks like PlayStation 1 and PlayStation 2 games might be coming with a more traditional backwards compatibility method, i.e. emulator. Kind of like how it was on the original PlayStation 3s, where the games weren't actually hardware encoded, they were being encoded through software. It looks like with an update that might actually be coming to PlayStation 4. At least that's what Eurogamer is reporting, according to a source from Sony that they have talked to. Now this could be really, really big news, because Microsoft is standing firm on its non-backwards compatibility with the Xbox One. So when you factor in the price difference, the ability to play your older games, PlayStation 4 is becoming a much, much bigger value. Then you throw in PlayStation Plus, which we mentioned earlier. You get a free game this month and last month. I mean, Sony's looking pretty good right now. Now, of course, this is still a rumor, but it does make sense, and as it is software emulation, it would not be a big challenge to add it in with an update. It's not like they have to go out and release a whole new model of PlayStation 4s that contain the chipset for PlayStation 2 and PlayStation 1. Hopefully this ends up being true, because I know I have a lot of PlayStation 1 and PlayStation 2 games, and it would be really awesome to be able to go back and play them, as I'm sure a lot of you do. Moving into our number 2 story of the week, Microsoft has officially bought Gears of War from Epic. Now, most people already associate Gears of War as being a Microsoft property because it's always been exclusive to Xbox consoles. But they didn't actually own it, they just published it and worked with Epic and helped fund it to make the game. Now, they actually own the property, and it's timely too because people really care about Gears of War. That's sarcasm, by the way. Gears of War has kind of run its course. It went through the main trilogy and it had one more game after that. And the last game didn't do so well, and it seems like people are kind of done with the franchise, but more power to Microsoft. They have all rights to make games, merchandise, and everything Gears of War. I'm sure there will be a next-gen version of the game coming. In fact, Microsoft has already announced that Black Tusk Studios in Canada will be working on a new Gears game, headed up by Rod Ferguson, who used to work at Epic and was kind of in charge of Gears of War. But then he moved over to 2K to go be the closer on BioShock Infinite and actually get that game to market. And that went pretty well because that game is really awesome. So maybe a new Gears game will be good. Maybe they'll make some changes to the formula. It just seems like at this point Gears has kind of run its course and Microsoft hopefully got a deal on it, because I can't imagine that kind of a tired franchise like Gears was anything in like the $1 billion range. But either way, looks like we're going to see a new Gears, and it's going to be from Microsoft, as you might expect. The time has arrived once again for us to move into our #1 story of the week, and yet again, the honor of the top spot falls to none other than Nintendo, who last week we talked about was having some financial issues. Well, this week, they've come up with some solutions for their financial problems, starting with their president taking a 50% pay cut. Now, he announced this pay cut. This is a voluntary pay cut. At least, he's publicly making it seem voluntary. Additionally, board members are going to take pay cuts of 20 to 30%, which should actually save the company quite a bit of money. Also, they're going to be bringing original DS games to the Nintendo Wii U eShop. So essentially, this means you'll be able to use your giant DS, your controller for your Wii U and your big TV, to play original DS games. Now, is this a solution to all of Nintendo's problems? Probably not. You're bringing older games to a new console, but it does give people more games to play on their device that they just spent a bunch of money on, and that's always a good thing. It would be better to see them say, hey, we've worked out all these deals with third-party developers and we have a whole bunch of original Wii U games coming to the console, but we'll take what we can get, right? It's more stuff to play on the Wii U, and that's always a good thing. Hopefully this turns things around for Nintendo. Time will tell, but at the very least they're saving some money by taking a pay cut to their high-paid employees, and they're bringing some more stuff to play. There's nothing wrong with that. Parting is such sweet sorrow, but this episode of Video Game Hub is over. We've made it through all 5 stories, we've made it through it together, and now you know a little bit more about the world of video games. Once again, I'm Dave LeClaire with MakeUseOf.com. Thank you very much for watching this episode of Video Game Hub. Make sure to click the subscribe button right over here so that way you never miss another episode of Video Game Hub, our product reviews, our how-to videos, and all the other awesome stuff that we bring at MakeUseOf.com's YouTube channel. And once again, thank you very much.